Hello again. It's good to be back with you. We've come to the conclusion of our study of Romans chapter 12. And when we get down to verse 21, the last verse of this chapter, we read, "Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good." Now, we're not left to wonder how we're going to accomplish this. If we go back to verse 19, we're told never to avenge ourselves, but leave it to the wrath of God. Why? Because vengeance is mine, God says. In other words, in the end, God will always settle the score. And in the end, He will always have done the right and the just thing. He will have the final word. This is hard for us to do sometimes because the natural human tendency is to respond with retaliation. Like it or not, most of us keep a list, a score of what's been done against us. However, as a follower of Christ, I have the ability to accomplish a different response. I'm being transformed by Christ and by the renewing of my mind, so I really can let God even the score. We're to remember that we serve a sovereign God, a just God, a holy God, who has promised that He will avenge all the evil that's ever been done in this world. So we shouldn't feel it necessary to take on the role of being an avenger ourselves, but rather we leave room for God's wrath. So let God settle the score. Now, second thing in this text that we can do to overcome evil with good is to use the element of surprise. Look in verse 20. He says, "To the contrary." Contrary to what? Taking revenge in our own hands. Rather, surprise them with generosity. If your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he's thirsty, give him something to drink. Surprise is one of the greatest weapons of any kind of warfare. And believe me, we're involved in a spiritual battle, and surprise gives you the upper hand. It tells you here what that upper hand looks like. He says that by doing so, you will heap burning coals on his or her head. Now, it's not a form of punishment, but rather it's a hope that our kind actions will bring shame, resulting in repentance. The best way to handle an enemy that I have found is to turn them into a friend. Now, that's not always the outcome, but when we follow these instructions that are given here, it's a strong indication that indeed we are being transformed by the renewing of our minds. May God richly bless you as you continue on your journey of becoming a fully devoted follower of Christ, brought about by the renewing of our minds. God bless you.